Mic check 1 2. Yes.
Play CDJs like a
Keyboard.
like a
percussion.
keyboard drum machine. Crazy, man. He be scratching. You gotta watch him play, bro. It's crazy. Yeah, this is dope. I ain't had nothing like this. See, I need stuff like this at the crib, man. Was you at congregation when that drone crashed into the building and that chick stepped on it?
I heard about it. I think I did hear about that.
Yeah,
she was mad. I heard about that. Who told me that?
The drone flew into the building, man. And it fell down, and she went in and freaking smashed. She just killed it, man. I was like, dude come running up, saw his drone all smashed.
I'd be like, you paying for this?
Yeah, he didn't see her step on it, man. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Nobody said anything.
Nah, I wasn't gonna say nothing. What I'm gonna do? You saying?
Shoot, man, that's how much that stuff cost? Couple hundred, $300. Shoot.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Let me just start off. All right, shall we start? Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Mike Clark. Welcome to the Mike Clark Show. So, getting into our new episode, we got special guests, some of the brothers in Detroit. They are DJs that's been spinning here, and they don't have any records out, but at the same time, they're one of the staples in Detroit. They got history, and I'd like to introduce them. You have Tony Dennis, Marvin Prater, and
John Spears.
I like to say, I guess, Tony, you go first, sir. Tell me about, how you came up, what inspired you, what you got into, what made you become who you are, and then, talk about.
Okay, so I got introduced to the music through another Detroit legend, Joey Thomas, in 1983. And fun fact with him, when I met him, his original DJ name was Dr. Beat. And
you were spinning back then too?
Huh?
Were you spinning as well?
Joey taught me, but Joey,
okay. So
Joey
you came up like he was spinning already. You were hanging with him. Then he was like, "Come on, man, I got you."
So, so Joey, he used to walk around in doctor scrubs, and he's call himself Dr. Beat.
Shout out to Joey Thomas, by the way.
One of his tracks, his signature tracks, was Miami Sound Machine. Dr. Beat.
I remember. I think that's why he named himself that. I remember when the record came out.
Yeah. And so he, when I met him, he had some MCS turntables, a Teledyne mixer over on Vaughn.
Teledyne was a staple.
And shortly as I was learning from him, he went out, really the first teenagers to get a pair of 1200s from D. Messini Pawn Shop, which was on Livernois and 7 Mile.
Oh, okay.
And he used to let me use his 12s between him and Ray Berry.
Oh, wow. Ray Berry as well.
Yeah, because Ray
Shout out to Ray Berry, rest in peace.
So rest in peace, Ray Berry. So Ray used to let Joey hold his 12s. So
wow.
So in my years of practicing up from 83 to 86, when I went and joined the military, in 1987, when I bought my first pair of 12s. Now, let me back up. In 84, I got my aunt to buy me a pair of Technics B100s.
Oh, yeah, the
and
B1s.
a Newmark DM500.
That's a starter kit.
And one of my first tracks was that I purchased was Prepare to Energize, Torch Song.
Ooh, that was a song right there.
Jelly Bean.
Got it in there.
Yeah, Jelly Bean, Benitez, The Mexican, Sidewalk Talk.
Yeah.
Alexander Robotnik's, a couple of other tunes that was out there, the Smurf and all that other stuff from back in the day. In 1987, I went out and bought my first pair of 12s, and I had my stuff on a boat in the USS America aircraft carrier. I had confiscated a room and bought all this vinyl, and I had my stuff. And I've just been really practicing and been spinning ever since I caught the bug from Joey. And the reason why primarily I love the music because back in the day when we all grew up doing this, trying to figure it out, it was a pure art form. We were all learning from each other. It was about the art of the blend.
What year was this?
This was when I started. It was in '83.
Okay,
all right,
so 83.
in 1983. But cats like you guys, Direct Drive, Play It Again, Sam, all the parties, Sabatinos, and all of the other stuff. When you guys was doing those type of parties,
That was like 82,
yeah,
83.
the Bonnie Brook and all the other stuff right there.
Yep.
So downstairs pub,
Generation of
Yeah.
how we all became who we are.
all right. But following you guys, and then like I say, really. I've been doing this thing and I'm still doing it now, but the pure art form for what we do is based off how I came up learning the art of mixing and blending. And I think that's one of the signature stories that's not really told in Detroit about how we take mixing seriously.
Please elaborate.
And,
I mean, that's one of the good things because you got a great style. So,
Yeah.
by all means,
So
your theory.
And when we were coming up, they used to have what we call spinoffs. Now they call them DJ battles. We called them spinoffs back in the day. Remember that?
Yeah.
And you had little battles between everybody. It's like, and it had audience
Basement battles.
And if audience participation, if you like what you hear, clap it up, right? And that's when the true DJ battles were born. And we weren't really scratching. We was more like slipping and doing fader tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then eventually, it morphed into more technical stuff and doing the scratching and stuff like that.
You know what was good? Not trying to cut you off, but I was gonna say, not actually thinking about it. When we started, like in high school as kids, learning this whole DJ program, it was like we were early programmers because,
Yep.
a lot of times you don't really think about a high school DJ that much, but when you think about it, we were all 11th, 10th.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Seventh, eighth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It was
Yeah,
when I started.
absolutely.
I started in eighth. Al
Same
started a year
thing,
before
yeah.
me, and it's like we were little kids coming up, DJing for like our older brothers or whatever. Todd and all them guys, and we was trying to get our accolades to be able to play out. And then once we was able to break that door down, and this is that the pre-progressive era.
Yeah.
And then once the progressive era came in, that's when we started doing our things. And if you remember by, the get-togethers,
Yep.
those were the things that really we were training at the get-together because, again, we spending every half day, every time somebody's moms was out of town or if their parents weren't there, we went over their crib and we just spun. Everybody spun all day. It was like this new fever we created back then that our generation did. We just spun. At least I know I was that way. I'm assuming you was like that because back then DJing, it was popular, but it wasn't as popular as the groups.
Well, so one of the things was we really got to tell the story is the Electrifying Mojo.
Yes, sir.
When he was doing tape pause mixing, all right?
Yeah.
And then literally tape pause mixing where he would like pause and it would like make a double effect. And he was doing that on the radio. And you would capture from him when he was doing his show from 10 to 3 in the morning. And Mojo was doing that type of stuff. And then you had the Wizard, WDRQ. And then he was doing all his stuff. And then what really caught the bug with me is to this day, I'm still trying to figure out how he did it, was Derek May. When he came on the scene and he started doing his mixing, unless somebody can correct me, I still think he was probably the originator of the backspin and doing the backspin
You
tricks.
did a lot of backspins, Derek, didn't you?
He did backspins where he would backspin. He would drop a track right off.
You
the
even
back.
did it on your records.
Yeah. He would drop a track right off the backspin, and so that really kind of captivated me with more of the creativity of how Detroit came up. And then you had the cats out of Chicago, the Mike Hitman Wilson.
Yeah.
What was the other cats? Farley.
Yeah, the Hot
Bad
Mix
Boy
Five.
Bill,
Yeah.
Hot Mix 5, Skies Smoke
Remember Kenny Jam and Jason? And,
Chippy, and all those cats were doing the stuff out on the radio, doing more creative stuff. And then that's kind of just really my background is why I'm so creative and how I try to make my mixes more like an art form in what I do.
So basically, like what you're saying is like the influences of what you saw gave you the vision,
Yep.
you know, so to speak,
Yep.
to be like, okay, I see this, I see this, I see this. I like this part, I like that part, I like that part. I'm gonna use this, and this is how I become it.
You know, other than maybe the style or the form or the genre of music, but my style of mixing has not changed literally over 30 years. I'm a blender. That's what I do. All right. I'm a pure blender. I'm all about the art of the mix and trying to tell a story that has to make sense. And what I do.
That audience, just so y'all know, that is the thought of the original DJ, to tell a story, you know, because we're used to playing for hours, not just an hour, not just 2 hours, but we used to playing 3-4 hours. Sometimes you're doing 9.
Oh yeah, one DJ was doing it. Yeah, one DJ.
Unless you went to the bathroom, you had an understudy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that, you know, in case you didn't know, because I found out because of our age gap, a lot of people that's listening nowadays, a lot of them, well, I ain't gonna say a lot, but some don't know about the 8-hour DJ.
No, no.
You know, the cabarets, slow dancing at 12 o'clock, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of stuff that, you know, back then you had a very programmed set. Not the music itself as much as, all right, you got to play that slow song, you got to wind them down. You know, you thinking more audience-minded, you know, because nowadays we're more artistic thinking. You know? We're going to do a straight set of a straight sound with a straight beat that goes for this long, for 2 hours, whatever, or the whole night. We're back in the day, as you know, remember.
You brought it down a little bit.
Well, you know, that tempo would range from 88 BPMs or lower
to 135.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it was in one party.
One party.
One DJ.
And you did miss a beat. It wasn't like you was off.
3 songs, those songs.
This is the way you blended. This
Yeah.
You know, we were, you know, and then too, like you said, you had the B1s.
Yeah.
Talk about what it was like to play on those.
Okay, so Technics V1s, these are belt drive turntables, all right? And they take off like racehorses.
Yes.
So you had to take a literally make your own slip mat, all right?
Yeah.
Out of the album record cover, make a slip mat, put it on top of there so it kind of makes it slippery. But if you didn't have that, as soon as you let the platter go, it'll take off like a racehorse and it will slow down.
Rubber band.
Yeah, so that was a painful way of learning, but you had to learn on those, and then you had the other the D ones where they wouldn't like really coarse locks, and some of them you had to push off on. All right,
because they're the first motor drive, non-rubber band.
Yep, and those didn't grab like a 1200. All right, so you had to push off on it and make sure you had the right speed when you pushed the right touch to make sure that the record took off.
1200 was the miracle turntable. Let's be honest.
Not everybody. Matter of fact, back in the day, nobody had 1200s unless you.
They weren't. Remember, there wasn't. You know,
unless you were Ray Berry or somebody like that, nobody had 12. We played on 1650s, 1700s, 1300s. We played on everything but 12.
You remember the 1800s?
1800s.
That was a pre-1200.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know about this, but you know, there's something that some people don't know. The 1800s were before the 1200s. Number-wise, I don't know. But before the sliders, all the turntables had rotary knobs.
Yeah, rotary knobs. Yep.
And the 1800s was the last of the rotary knob series because they had the rotary knobs, they had the serious torque. That was the thing.
Yep.
Like you said, the belt drives was rubber band base. So that's why when you pushed them too fast, that rubber stretch, and then it either goes too fast or too slow.
Yep.
So we had to do, what do we call that? Ride to pitch?
Yeah, ride to pitch. You can ride by hitting, grabbing the spindle. Yep.
Turntable hold.
Yep.
Platter holder.
Yeah, platter holder. Yep.
Platter holder.
Yep.
That was the only way you could do it. You couldn't just let the record go. There was no way in life with a belt drive you could do that. But if you could platter hold it just right, then you could blend these non-electronic live drum records.
Yep.
And that's the thing that people don't understand as well. These weren't, back in the belt drive days, there was no electronic music. It was still
it's all live
drummer.
Bands. Yeah,
still live.
No quantization.
So imagine mixing with a rubber band,
no quantization or nothing like
and
that.
a live drummer.
Yep.
You mean because you like with me? I remember.
Coast on you.
Yeah, drum rolls was when you kind of popped it in, or you did more like a 4-bar or 16-bar because after a while the drummer get tired or speed depending on what he did, and it shows on the records. Like Lolita Holloway.
Yeah. It's all live. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
I ain't touching it.
Yeah.
That's DJ talk.
Yeah. So right around so in 1989, we went in the Navy. I was on. It's called the Mediterranean cruise.
Okay.
And so when the Strings of Life came out, and Farley's track, remember that? Oh, I think You Better Think. It was a remix Farley did.
You Better Think?
Aretha Franklin?
Yeah, he did a remix of that. And so when I was in the Navy, in '89, we was in a med cruise. So our first place we went to was Benidorm, Spain.
Okay.
So Benidorm, Spain had these beachfront nightclubs that were out there. So I walked.
What year was this?
This was in 1989.
You hear that? He was international back then. He was getting them.
So
Tony.
So I walked into one of the clubs and they was playing house, and I said, "Hey, I'm a DJ from Detroit." They let me play.
Because you're from Detroit.
I played an hour and a half.
You know exactly what
happened. That's when I realized that they had Strings of Life in the crates. They had a lot of Detroit techno tracks in the crates, and I was like, "Holy crap! We're gonna bang this." So I really played for about an hour and a half down in. That was my first international gig per se. And back in 1989, and then another place in Palma, Spain, when I did played another party out there. And
So
but
as
other
a
than that,
pioneer, he was one of the earlier pioneers you didn't know about.
yeah.
Today, the topic is rhythm. The very thing that made us. The very thing that we chase every day. The rhythm started with our mother's heartbeat. The love they made to create the rhythm. The heartbeat of my mother's lullaby. You cannot take the rhythm from the people. You cannot take the rhythm from the people, because the people is the rhythm. Anytime an indigenous man walks this earth, you see rhythm, black, indigenous rhythm.
And then 97, when I transitioned from the Navy to the Army, I took my turntables to South Korea with me. I was there for a year. So I had all this vinyl, and I played in South Korea for a year in the barracks and stuff like that. So, bottom line, wherever I went in the world, I had turntables.
Nice.
Next thing is 2001, I was in Bosnia. And this was right when they had the Bosnian War.
Oh, wow. That's right. So
I was there for a year. I had turntables then. Turntables then. So now, fun fact, I got introduced to was Frequency Detroit.
Okay.
Norm Talley, and Delano were hosting mixes. It was an online website. And you guys had mixes there. Now in Bosnia, when I was trying to download the mixes, and the internet was like less than 14K, so it took hours.
Whoa!
It took hours to download.
Back in the days, you paid for that too.
So it took hours to download this stuff, right? And so
you would buy a 16 megabyte disc.
Yeah. So this was in 2000. So this was in 2001.
Nice.
And then in 2004. I was in Iraq for a year. Guess what? I had my turntables.
Sir.
Some vinyl pieces, and I was banging out in
Is it safe to say you banged the many wars?
Yeah. Then
That's a warrior.
That was 2005. 2004, 2005, 2006 to 2008. I was back in Iraq again. Guess what? I had my gear.
Hey.
And then came back. And then my last 2 years in the military, I was back in South Korea. Guess what? I had my gear.
Now, have you ever DJ like outside when stuff was going on? Like,
not in the war zone. Nah. It was all.
I think I can stop this, y'all. Hold on.
Right.
Yeah, nothing like
Let's
that.
give them some house music. They might just stop for a minute.
Yeah.
The war ended with house. Yes.
Nothing like that. But it was just a pretty interesting time in my life in terms of playing, and I still got the bug. I'll have the bug until I die.
Just out of curiosity, do you have like a bio about this? Because those are the kind of things like, and it's just me talking on the scale of professional DJ world. Everybody's all about DJs. They never talked about a war DJ.
Nah.
If you wrote your story, you might get Netflix. I'm just saying, y'all. Tony Dennis.
I do got pictures of it though. I got pictures of me playing.
Look out for Tony Dennis, the war DJ. He's gonna be out there live at Netflix. It can happen. I'm just saying, Those are unique stories because right now they doing all that.
But I think at the end of the day, with all the stuff that happened to me, I won't say negative things, but things that impacted my life. The only true constant was always going to be music, and that's the one that was the healing force and what keeps me positive and rooted. Yeah, and from a positive perspective, it's always going to be music. If I'm down and out, I got music to go to and do my release.
We are lifers. Yeah, it is who we are, is what we do. No matter where we at.
One of my good accomplishments that I'm proud of is that I have a podcast that I have created since 2007, and it's still up right now. I've got over 360 mixes and still growing. That's one of my good achievements. Not too many people can say that they have that out there from a historical standpoint. And then up until present day, when I met John Spears and Marvin Prowse, when I got roped into the congregation.
All right.
And everything took off from there. So that's, I know a lot of talking I was doing, but that's pretty much my role and where I am in life with music. Okay. And I'm going to keep going.
What's going on? Tell me about your first party. Do you remember your first party?
My first party was probably some neighborhood party on Freeland somewhere in 6 Mile. Nice. Right before I...
Tell the world. The world needs to know.
Right before...
this is how we did it in Detroit.
Right before I joined the military. So it was... I don't know if you know Andre Batts.
Yes, I do.
So Andre Batts, we was a neighborhood party.
He used to get those parties. Matter of fact, he does the comic book stuff. Yeah. We were going to do the comic book stuff, but we never hooked up. Yeah. I don't know why. He never contacted me.
Yeah. So
but anyway,
but even then, from a party perspective, I'm proud to say I was a crate carrier. I carried people's crates. So let's just keep it real.
Yeah, that's right.
I carry crates, and that's what I did.
I was carrying cans whenever I could. I was,
I carry crates.
Ask Todd how many crates and speakers and stuff I carried before they let me play.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be a DJ. It's time to do real DJ shit.
That was a guaranteed way into the club.
They have to like you first. So you got to kiss some tail. You got to carry some pickups, some that's just how it works.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, carrying them crates down them stairs, down the Prima Donna, the underground spots, man. That was no joke.
Backs.
Yeah,
strong backs.
40-pound amps.
Yeah, I remember them Peaches crates.
Oh man,
yeah.
With crack in the bottom.
Yeah.
I called myself trying to be all big. I remember when I thought I could just carry two of them at the same time. I did that, but then I realized you gotta go to chiropractic.
Yeah.
My arms were strong, but my back said, "Motherfuckers, you crazy."
Yeah.
Each time, especially the agave days.
It's now. I was gone. That whole time period, the agave 246. I can't relate to any of that because I was not here.
That was another transitional period. But that was like a period that transitioned into kind of where we are now. During that period, because that was, it was like the scene was changing. Like at one point, we was house town.
Yeah.
Because we started this, Detroit and Chicago, as everybody knows, we started this. So during those times, the radio shows was doing them, the clubs was doing them, every house party was doing them. It was house everywhere. So you looking at a time where
7 days a week.
Yeah, it was what you did. You know what I mean? It was just like, you had hip hop and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, we were, it was all about the dance thing. I come from a family of dancers, so my history traces from dancing at home and routines into dancing on the dance floor, into staring at the DJ, into, okay, now I want to be a DJ, but my mind is still dance. And that's probably shows when I play, because when I play, I got this thing where I go into this zone where, okay, now y'all about to get down, because I'm about to get down. You know what I'm saying?
So let's not forget about our parents' cabaret parties back in the day.
Yes. Yes.
The old basement cabaret parties when we...
That famous, get back upstairs.
Yeah.
What you want? What you want? Quick.
Yeah.
Go now get back upstairs. Man, it was grown folks. It's grown folk business.
Hey, do you remember our parents all in one DJ console? Not DJ console, but the stereo console. We had the BSR turntable.
I was that DJ.
Yeah.
That was how I actually started.
Yeah, the 8-track. Yeah.
You put all the records.
Yeah.
You had to pause because
Yep.
that was the only reason they would let me stay down there. Because like, what you got, Mike? What you gonna play? All right, watch this. Clip. Turn. Drop.
Yeah.
Then the record plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the record goes off. All right, what you got now?
Yeah.
That was the original
The console. Yep.
That was how I started.
And you better not touch it. Get off my goddamn console. Yeah.
The flip side of your record wasn't ruined.
Or hey, remember inside the console we had the BSR turntable. We had the needle that flipped. It depended on
45 and 33.
Yeah, you had the needle itself. You had to flip. You could flip. Yeah, you could flip the needle. You could flip the needle. It was a lever of it. You could flip it upside down.
Oh, so you played the needle like upside down.
So it was two. The needle itself it had two sides to the needle, and then you take and it was an arm, and you take it and you flip it out, and you could transition to the other needle.
So you played backwards upside down?
No, I'm just saying that the needle, depending on the record, you had an option of flipping the needle over. Yeah, so yeah.
Man, I never did that. I heard about that, but I never really.
Yeah. Highland of Pine. Yeah.
You were like the newer generation DJ, so you guys were probably doing it because you're Terrence Parker's generation, right?
No, Terrence Parker's younger than me, so
okay,
yeah.
So Joey, because see, Joey's under me. What I remember, like, Joey and Tink and Gary, like Gary O'Miles and Tink.
But you remember that it was Detroit against Southfield. I mean, that whole goddamn
that's what I'm saying. The early days. That's how I was just about to go there.
Yeah.
Those are the early days. Cause I remember Joey was like, "Man, I can bang. Y'all let me bang." And it was like for a minute because Joey, that's my brother. I love him to death, man. But he get that chest sticking out.
But I'm gonna tell you, man. I hate that he lost his passion. But he was when Joey came out, he took off like a rocket, and he just came out of nowhere out of
rap. He had determination, because that's one thing I can say. Because like I said, he came in. I didn't say he's coming in on a challenging spirit, but he definitely came in boastering about his skills, and he backed it up.
And it was truth. He was
backed it up. And that's the thing, so you can't argue. Joey Thomas, he did his thing. Joey came out, hey, I'm Joey Thomas.
Yeah, little pretty light skinned boy out there, man.
So I know I'm pretty, but I can still spin. Watch.
Yeah.
That's cool though. But respect. One day, matter of fact, I gotta bring Joey Thomas down here one of these days.
Yeah.
You help me set that up.
Yeah, I set it up. Yeah.
Like I say, on my show, the show is about Detroit, and it's not necessarily strictly about Detroit, but it's about the influences of things that happen here. And that's the thing I want to do. So it's like there was that period, like you say, the Southfield guys, Gary and them, those are my bros. I want them to speak on some stuff. Joey, his generation, him and Mashawn and them.
Yeah.
And
Mashawn Daniels. Wow, I ain't heard that name in a minute, man. Wow. Okay.
Mashawn. This is how I knew Mashawn. My ex-girlfriend, my high school sweetheart, they were best friends.
Okay.
And he actually lived on the corner house where I went to junior high school at.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it publicly, Mashawn. You safe? You good, brother? Don't worry about it. You straight. But anyway, that was how we met, and then I would see him from time to time, and once we got to know each other, there's always been once we see each other, we know who we are.
Yeah.
And that's why he's always gonna be my brother. So shout out to Mashawn.
Yeah.
Mashawn Daniels.
Yeah. So it was some really good times, man, and I know I got a few years left in me. To keep doing what I'm doing. Thankfully, my hearing is still intact.
Yeah. Keep playing those songs low.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about, do you have like one of your best parties that you've done or been to?
Well, the only thing that the best part is, from my perspective, I take that back. So when I came back to Detroit, I linked up with Eric Johnson, Jeff Arthur, a.k.a. DJ Taz, and Minx.
DJ Minx. Hey, salute to DJ Minx. She's really rocking right now.
They were part of, I joined a group called Groove Detroit. And some of the best parties that I've been associated with was at Groove Detroit. But then came the infamous Mars Bar. Joseph Campo and Hamtramck, Mike Johnson. Shout out. In my opinion, that was probably some of the best parties that I've actually played at that venue as a resident there. Those parties were off the chain. Speaking of Eric,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hold on. We're gonna do this one.
Yeah.
Is this Eric Johnson?
What up, though?
Yo.
Hey, man. Hey, Eric, man. This is a weird thing going on right here. So I'm with Mike Clark, obviously.
You're on a radio show, just so
and
you know,
we had a radio. So we're doing an interview right now, and your name literally I just mentioned 10 seconds ago. I mentioned your name.
Subliminal. Subliminal.
The universe. And you calling me on the phone right now.
This is how the world works.
Yeah, so I'm giving him the story.
Shout out to brother Eric Johnson. He is here. He heard me call him out.
Kind of perfect timing, man.
That'll work.
Yeah.
I had to run over here to the fucking Guitar Center, man, because one of my channels, man, is distorted, and I think it's the XLR cord. So
I think it's you.
It ain't never me.
But literally, man, as I'm telling the Groove Detroit story, man, you called right in, bro.
Yeah, man.
Shit.
Hey, do you wanna do a shout out, Eric? Anybody you want to shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to all my brothers, DJs here in the D. I love y'all. That's how I feel about you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Johnson, that's another one of the brothers. He's a staple. here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have him up here doing the interview. He's awesome.
You know, vinyl coming soon, so I'm gonna let y'all do your interview. Vinyl, as soon as Kenny get the vinyl back, I got y'all.
Hey, Eric, is that under Switch Swing?
No, that's Mahogany. That's Kenny Dixon's label.
Okay, you still got Switch Swing though, right?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
Okay. And Switch Swing. So Eric Johnson, Switch Swing and E-Music. That's his moniker.
Yeah, remember E-Music spelled with an E. That's E.
Right.
All right, man.
All right, do your thing, and I'll let y'all later.
All right.
All right, cool. Right. Thanks for stopping in, bro. We appreciate your timing.
Anytime, man. Just hit me up anytime you need me.
All right, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be having your show here soon, so we're going to talk about it, bro. One love.
Let me know, because I was supposed to go on Mion's show, but I think her videographer hurt his back, so I'm waiting for her to get back with me. We try to figure out how that's supposed to go.
Okay.
Cool, man.
Okay, bro.
Yeah.
All right, I'll holler.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
That was weird.
I know.
But right on time, though. Right on time.
I was silent. I just looked down and saw Eric Johnson. I was like, I was like,
yeah.
I was debating on everything. I was like,
they could sense you. Tony was in the interview.
Now, you know who did that to me one time that tripped me out? Believe it or not, Phil Asher.
Oh, rest in peace, Phil.
Yeah,
man.
brother Phil Asher.
Flash.
That was my brother, my twin in spirit, like Mike Huckabee. We were all January 4th brothers. And one time he was, I want to say it was Germany or somewhere in that area. And it was crazy because he was like, hey, Mike, what's going on? I'm doing all right. What's going on? I'm doing good. Hey, say hi to everybody. Hey, everybody. And I heard, I'm like, what the? Hey, that's Mike H. Clark. Hey, out there live for Detroit. What you got to say, Mike? Yeah. I said something stupid.
Yeah.
And everybody like, yeah. Hey, man, it was the most craziest. It's like I thought I was on some animated comedy show, man, because it had a live audience that was screaming. Whatever he was doing, wherever he was at, all I could imagine was him on stage. And it was probably, it was Europe. It was a plethora of people. And he probably said my name to somebody and something. Because it was if I could have recorded that moment.
Luckily, we got this one right.
Yeah, but I had to share that story though. I had to.
So here's a fun fact. I think it was about 8 years ago. Mike called me. He said, "Hey Tony, there's this movie production going on. I can't be, and they need a DJ." And he said, "I can't do it." And so can you do it? So this was like a DEC type movie with some crazy man. So
it was coupon.
Yeah.
Film.
So I go in and I bring out. They didn't have any DJ gear and everything, so I went out and brought all my stuff out. And the movie never came into fruition, but it was a crazy time, and I really appreciate Mike because out of everybody, I just literally came back. I wasn't even back in the city 2 years, and Mike Clark immediately reached out to me and asked me if I could fill in for him. So big ups and respect for that, man. So I really appreciate
how that goes, man. Shit.
Yeah,
I felt you was perfect for it. So.
But back to the Groove Detroit thing. So Groove Detroit, Mars Bar, those were really, really the fun times. Motor City Wine, awesome. Banging parties there.
Yep, that's downtown. David and Melissa.
AP, yeah.
They've been a part of the scene for a while. So anybody who's not from here, when you do come, you definitely want to go to Motor City Wine. That's a Detroit staple.
Northern Lights, of course,
is
played down
back
there.
Up.
Also played down there.
So that's another staple that's about to open up. So come
the
down.
excursion parties, some of the epic parties that we had. Was Cordell Johnson in the During Movement, Chicago, and those parties were epic. Down at the Russell Bazaar, down at what floor was
I
that
was
on?
with E-Man. We just called Cordell literally yesterday.
Yeah. So those parties, that was
funny.
That's what Kevin Dysart, he had a studio over at Russell Bazaar. What floor was that on?
For Kevin?
Yeah.
Oh, that was probably 7th floor.
I just remember one day the elevators went out.
Yeah.
And we had to carry that heavy ass fucking equipment up there, man. It was no goddamn joke.
Yeah, man.
And then later on that night, women that showed up, the elevator was out, and they was in like 4-inch stilettos. And they had to walk up them stairs. Yeah. It was painful.
You can look cute if you want to.
Yeah. Yep.
But no one's fooling themselves, know.
But
you hurt yourself.
Now I can say the epic parties right now is the Congregation.
Yes, sir. Congregation
going into its fourth year.
Yep. That's what the other brothers is here.
Yep. And so reluctantly, I'll let Marv tell the story. Marv hit me up and said, "Hey," I was kind of reluctant about it, but that thing just grew and grew and grew. And just last year, it was out of control. And Betsy just hit us up, 2 days ago, asking, for a meeting. So we got another thing coming on. So, Larry, I'll let you go ahead and take over, bro.
No, am I coming in clear?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Put some bass on it, man.
We can hear you, brother. We can hear you.
I figured I'd let John follow you.
Okay. All right.
And talk. I'll speak last.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Did you want to talk about the congregation, or you want him to talk about the congregation?
I'll let him bring us to it.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to John.
Well, my backstory is a little different, but same thing. 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, give us your bio, sir.
Give me,
Tell
I'm
me
a
how
big
you
guy
came
with a
into
soft
the game.
voice, but it's my
Yep.
heart. Charged to my heart. But my story started a little different. In junior high, we used to have a dance room, and so for
What
lunch,
junior high school is this?
Hutchins, 1978.
Well, all right, y'all. 1978.
Detroit, Michigan. Yeah.
Sound like you had an afro going on.
Hutchins, you had an afro going on. We had bell
Jingle
bottoms
boots.
and hit me hard, hit me hard.
Yeah.
Swedish knits.
Rolling shirts.
Yeah,
double
earth shoes.
stitch. What y'all know about earth shoes?
Yeah, the
Moon shoes.
bitch whip keychains.
Yeah, the bitch beaters.
Yeah, but we was allowed to bring records, and they had a record player in there. The old closing plays, the big record player, and they had a couple little speakers in there. So
No one was mixing. back
everybody
then.
bring a few records and put it on, and we Boogie Wonderland and
Bring your favorite record.
Knee Deep and all the good stuff. Gap
Let me ask you
Band.
this, now, do you remember, or let me ask you, did this ever happen to you? Because this happened in my junior high school. Whenever you played Flashlight, instant fight, just instant.
Somebody stepped on somebody pushed somebody.
You play every other record.
Somebody
Flashlight. Dun, 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 red, plow, plow, plow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Earl Flynn signs. Yeah.
And wait, the
Somebody's
freak.
house. They just start. It's just somehow it was a fighting song. They brought it out of there. We just got all pumped up. We wanted to hit somebody.
That and Knee Deep. Those two.
Knee-deep.
I think the fight song that really took Detroit over was The Freak. What was that?
That would definitely call
one?
it a freak.
That was man.
Which one? I Need a Freak?
We like the freak.
I Need a Freak.
Oh,
Not Freak is fine.
Okay.
Well,
I need a Frank Bone in this time.
but the one
I
where
need
you're
a
pumping,
freak.
you're pumping everybody and you're dancing and one leg up and
I need a
that was
freak
Get Off.
every
No,
day.
that was Get Off.
There you
That
go.
was Get Off.
Save
Foxy
me, Mike.
Get Off.
Save me, Mike.
Foxy Get Off.
Foxy
Get Off.
Yeah, I seen that. I remember
So,
that one.
This dance took us over by a storm.
Yeah.
We were
As soon-
12 years old doing the freak
Soon
in
as you
a
know your
lunchroom.
boys, girl.
And our
This
principal
is a song, man. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Foxy Get Off. Yeah.
That's my
Crazy
mother.
part. If you actually heard the story about Get Off, it had nothing to do with sex.
And
It was
people
about
grew
them
old not
saying,
knowing that they were
"Stick it to
white.
Man, that was a manager. At some
I did not know that. Wow, that's a good history. Okay.
It was like I caught it one day on TV, and it was like, oh yeah, Get Off. I really want to hear about this one. And it was like, first of all, it had nothing to do with that. I was like,
Wow. Okay.
then
Mind
once
blown.
yeah, and I was like, wow. So I guess to Get Off is something. I can't remember what it was, but definitely check out the history. They got a documentary on it. Hey.
Yeah, Foxy Get Off, right? Wow, okay. Yep. That's
So that was
TK
kinda-
Disco
yeah.
record. TK Disco?
TK Disco. Yep, TK Disco.
Yep, that was the label, TK Disco. You know we old, man, if I can remember shit like
Ring
that.
My Bell, Anita Ward.
Yeah.
Those.
Yeah.
But that was my start into the music love because we were junior high and we buying records. So we started going to the record stores, Wonder Love, Chantonique's, of course, Buy Right cracked up in like
High
83.
Fidelity
Oh, yeah. And you start seeing the flyers laying around. So you see these party flyers, of all these different clubs and Wayne State parties. So we young, but we big kids, 12, 13, 14. We start sneaking down to these parties, sitting outside watching the girls come out.
Let me ask you this. Did you guys because this is something I remember too, like back in the days of the neighborhood backyard party.
Oh, yeah.
If you didn't know where a party was at, you just walk down the street.
Listen
you just
for the music.
Yeah, you just listen for the music.
Yeah.
You be like
Or the
walking, you're like,
cars. Look-
where the party at? Just listen for it. And you hear a little zoom,
Yeah.
boom, and you go in there. And those was the basement parties or backyard parties. How much they cost? Like about
50 Cent?
Yep.
went up to $1.
Yep.
Had the index cards, date, late, rate, mate, gate.
So you
already
So
know.
you remember in those
That's the
backyard
stuff y'all need to know about. This is the history of the Detroit
Party scene.
Detroit party scene. The basement, the backyard parties. The
blue
birth
light and a
of
red
what
light
we're
bulb.
becoming.
So you remember in those backyard parties when Kraftwerk Numbers came out, right? And in far distance, and you hear it sounded like a damn machine gun was going off because you know how the beats was. You know, you can hear in the background. It literally sounded like a machine gun bouncing off. It was crazy, you know. Yeah. It was crazy, man. But those were some of the parties that he's talking about, man. That was like wow. Yeah.
Blue Monday.
Yeah.
But that's where it all started.
Came
Yeah.
out, I was spinning at
Yeah.
St. Andrew. No.
New Order, Blue Mountain.
I used to spin it at St. Andrews.
Did you Google that, man?
City Club.
Wow. Basement.
Okay.
Yep. I remember that whole.
Down the single stairs.
Yeah, that whole sound.
Yeah.
Derek May landed the gig. I had the turntables, and him and Blake, I think, was roommates.
Blake Baxter?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, we just like a little history. Like before the Music Institute, there was the City Club at the Leland House. And basically, you know, me and Derek, you know, like I say, we was forming our little thing, whatever. And he landed the gig. He needed my turntables. It was like, yeah, you can spin. So basically, me, him, and Blake would spin. And the interesting thing about how it spanned into, you know, the Music Institute was we actually got kicked out. This is something that some people know, but a lot of people didn't know. You know, we call it the leader knock.
The leader knock, yeah.
Knock. And basically, you know, and this something just needs to be known. That's why I just let it be known from what Derek had told me, the manager, the owner. I don't know if he's the manager or owner. One of them was racist because at the time, you know, it was the time of the new wave era, and you know the urban cats. I use urban for blacks, but the urban cats started coming up. Just so y'all know, and you know, basically the urban cats started, you know, filling up the place, and they got uncomfortable with it, you know, and because of that, I don't know if it was I can't. I'm gonna have to ask Derek. I'm gonna bring him up here, but I don't know if they asked us to stop inviting them, or I can't remember what it was because Derek was the one who he talked to, and you know that's how we ended it up. And basically, they ended up moving over to a spot. I think it was where they was living at or something like that, and that was what the original Music Institute was at. I wasn't with them at this one at that point in time because I was spinning at Cheeks, and it was Cheeks and something else. But I just remember I would do special guests at the Music Institute, but I wasn't a part of the Music Institute crew. That was like a whole nother situation, you know. But yeah, that was to me also. I think during that era, that was, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, you would know. This is when the suburbanites started coming into the city, and the fusion started.
Yeah, because downtown was like a catalyst for merging. You know, that was everybody's spot. It was no
safe zone.
It was everybody's safe zone. There you go. Because we kind of migrated down into the clubs. Renaissance got built, and they started hosting parties down there. The hotel with the rotating at the top, back in the top of Ponce Train. Okay. Yeah. And they were doing a lot of things down there, and we started kind of migrating into little basement parties, the underground, down the stairway parties, and
the Bouncer's Pub.
Oh yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. But I got deeper into the music in junior high school and buying stuff, and when we started going to the record stores and seeing all the flyers, like, man, people giving parties, and we can, you know, so we started following the trends, and as we went off in the 9th grade, you know.
Now, how old were you when you first started again?
12.
There you go, people.
12.
Again, I'm gonna say this: when you want to know how we all started, we was kids.
But we would buy the records.
Now it's cute. Yeah. But it was how we started.
Wasn't calling ourselves DJs at the end. We was just
spinning.
Yeah.
I want my daddy's records type thing.
If you was DJing back then, you was on the microphone talking to you. We just wanted to just play the beats. That was it. You know, we was stuck on the beats.
Yeah. You know, you go borrow your friend's turntable, and you have one, and you go get your Teledyne mixer from Highland Appliance for $49.
There you go. You know, that's a great point. Nobody back in the day had a true match DJ set.
No.
We had mismatch
SLD2
gear.
and
We played on whatever we get on.
It was so new that we was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's why my very first turntables, no lie. I'm a little, like I said, I'm a little weird. So I remember what I bought, and I bought these on purpose. True story. I bought these Sony T22 straight tone arm turntables.
Oh, wow.
I bought it on purpose because back then I was in the early days of the DJ contest, because this was like before the courts, but it was the direct drive. So basically the challenge back then was, can you actually operate them smoothly? Period. That was it. Can you? Because if we came out the belt drive,
Yeah.
you couldn't do it with the belt drives. They drag.
Yeah.
So
Jump like crazy.
if you were able to make it seem like it was good, you was working. And that was what we did. That's the whole platter hold and all
Yeah.
that. But in the direct drive era, like I said, you was able to work it a little bit better, but you still had to nurse it. So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing was, if you had the regular bent tone, it was easier to play.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would do, because everybody was always trying to hog the turntables back then, trying to come in, I would let them play on my turntables. And with straight tone, bounce it the wrong way. Boom. What's wrong with your turntables? That man, look. I can do it. What's wrong? Boom, man. and that was the thing. So, my practice was always, because again, back then it was the delicacy of
Yep.
the whole thing.
Yep.
So I made I bought the most delicate turntables I could find. And that was the whole thing. It was real smooth. Let it in real smooth. And the goal was to make it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
So that way when somebody else get it.
Yeah.
I'm a bad guy. I'm
I
sorry.
got a throwback for you. Then you had to tape a penny on it to make sure.
Yes,
the
sir.
They the penny,
Put
the
your
nickel,
penny on,
whatever,
a
man.
nickel on top of
Yeah.
To me, I'm not familiar.
There you go.
Well, the needle on the record, when you go to spin or if you're setting it down kind of quick when you transition into a record, would bounce back off, or either it would jump across the record if you go to move it.
Yeah.
So you would tape a nickel on the top of it to weigh it down.
Keep it
You
down.
can turn the weight
The
of the back.
vibration.
So you look at the back of this turntable right here.
No weight.
Wait, that's a wait.
Yeah, the weight's back here.
Piggyback it off
Yeah.
what Tony said, we had
Mark,
to take a slip
okay.
mat.
Yeah, what you gonna say, Marv?
No, nothing.
Yeah, so
Marv is practicing these
yeah,
silence.
so the turntables back there, we didn't really have those weights like the 12
Yeah.
on the backs. Yeah, so
The nickel. On the,
Oh yeah, on the tone.
yeah.
Directly
yeah.
on top of the cartridge.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Directly in a little piece of tape if you lucky.
Yeah.
A piece of gum.
Yeah.
If you was desperate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But once we started doing that, parents, somebody say, hey, somebody's birthday is coming up, let's have a party, because we done seen the party scene. Now we done went down to Wayne State and seen how the women love the music and it's crowded and the fraternities and sororities is dancing. So we took our shot at the backyard party with our little Teledyne and 2 mismatched turntables and the 20 or 30 records we done bought over the course of a year. And it was a hit. We passed out our little flyers, our little date, mate, rate, late gate.
The
Index cards. And the turnout was so good in the backyards that we said, this is it, EMS was born, experts in Motown sound, Eric, Mike, and Spears.
Motown sounds. I remember that.
And
Wow.
we used to do our little backyard party.
My 80s head to flip back up. Shit, Motown sound.
My mother worked for the state, so she was my printer. We would draw up a flyer on the back of a piece of paper and draw a little turntable and 2 people dancing. And we threw the index cards. We get in our little cars in 9th and 10th grade. Somebody was older, had a car and borrowed their mom's car. None of us had a license. And drive around to Cass, Immaculata, Benedictine.
You know what? One of the coolest things about that era were the flyers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It was like a flyer.
Flyers,
It was like a flyer.
You know, if you had a sweet flyer, you knew you
Superman, Lois Lane.
That's why they started doing all those Greek flyers. And all
That's where it came. Like I said, you start seeing the flyers
Yeah,
and the
Sabatinos and all that. great
Sabatino.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
They flipped it with because I remember it started off. You had like I was in this group called Gables.
Yeah,
I remember Gables. I remember Gables. Okay.
And they had pictures of Clark Gable looking all
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And
Suave.
come to the Gable parties, you know. And I was like, yeah, it's Gables.
Gables,
Matter of fact, he had brothers with perms that would do the same thing. I was one of them. I'm sorry. I was, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was one of the perm brothers for a second.
Yeah.
But continue.
Motor City Varsity Squad parties, all those parties was catalyst for us wanting to get deeper into the music, So like I said, when the basement and the backyard party started flourishing a little bit, we started taking off and branching out further with our flyers. We'd go down to the scene and catch people coming out from the scene.
Yeah, tell them what the scene is. The scene was a television show.
Hot East Coast, because we kind of hit the East Coast. People thought it was just Detroit thing, but people tuned in.
The scene was
The scene was international.
It was our version of Soul Train.
No, we
But it was
looked at it
international.
We was the East Coast
locally.
Soul
We look
Train.
at it local,
but it was international.
But
Yeah.
I found out from traveling,
Coast,
the
yeah, it
whole
was hot.
world was about
Yeah,
them.
the scene was.
So kudos to Nat Morris and RJ Watkins and the whole 62 crew.
Yeah.
That was like at the time, because with WGPR, that was like the only black-owned
Hey,
radio
you remember
station
them cheesy ass
television show.
commercials that Channel 62
man.
had?
Roaches.
But they had
running everywhere.
one thing
Everything was self-contained.
One
They had
thing I
their
liked
own
about
commercial.
WGPR Channel 62 is the video flyers. Those party flyers were epic.
Yeah, they were.
Lumos.
That was the thing.
Yeah,
They were a local.
Yeah.
They were a local channel and radio station. I mean, honestly, and this is something when I really think back to that. We didn't see it because we was too young, but we didn't really take advantage of that because we had a radio station and a television show that was us.
Yeah.
They had basement parties advertised on there.
Oh, yeah.
They were talking about Phelps Lounge.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, Phelps
they was
Lounge.
playing house on there. They was playing all the progressive. You had everybody, just all kind of
But
cats.
hey, look, remember they was advertising the all male dance reviews stuff.
All that kind of stuff. They,
Freaky
man,
Ray, yeah.
You can't get no more Detroit than
Henry's Palace.
Slaughter's Play Pit.
Yeah.
All that, man.
That's crazy, man.
Watch Club Mozambique.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Bill Beaver was a Watch Club Mozambique dancer. Watch Club Mozambique.
Oh man, Bill Beaver. Shouts out to Bill.
Yeah.
Shout out to Billy B.
I think they
Billy
had a
Love.
candlelight vigil when they burned down. Women were in the park.
Yeah. One day we're gonna have to put together the members of the house.
Oh
maybe
my
have
goodness.
them do the radio interview because I'm not putting it out there. I'm just gonna say this, members of the house, I'm calling you guys out, and I'm gonna leave it at that. When I see y'all, you gonna know what's up.
Yeah.
Members of the house, I'm calling you out.
So after the basement and backyard party scene kind of got populated, we had 12th Street area, Boston Edison area. That was my stomping grounds. We kind of mastered.
in Boston Edison.
Yeah, North End. I went to North
I
End.
lived on Goodwin.
Oh,
My
yeah, you
father
right on
was
the-
on Westminster.
Oh, I stayed on Westminster and Oakland. Yeah,
Oh,
when I was a
snap.
kid,
I'm
man.
70
hood,
Westminster, the apartment
Six,
building.
we was a 2-family flat right out of Oakland.
Yeah, all of them.
First
They
building
had
off the corner.
all the
The
big
fish-
houses.
the fish
You had the two
store
apartment
there.
buildings.
Yeah.
You had the one on the, I'm the one to the left.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
My grandfather bought it, and we basically, my brother, he runs it. But they
North End.
he bought it in the
North
40s
End,
and passed
okay,
it down.
yeah.
I'm a North End kid, man. Shout out to North End.
Shout out to North End for sure.
Yeah, actually, I'm still active. The North End, they have different associations and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause When I moved back over there to take care of the apartment building, I joined a lot of the associations. So if you're interested, I can put you on to some of the,
I know
'cause,
that's
you know,
what's coming.
you're a North Ender.
Boy Scouts.
Yeah, you
Boy
if
Scouts.
you was
and
born
everything,
North Ender, you a
By the
North
time I was in
Ender,
high
so-
school, I knew all the cats over there because we
Yeah,
were
there
Boy
you go.
Scouts together, Considine, and
Yeah, there you go. Yep. You know, you already know.
Snowmobiles, yeah.
So definitely, I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna hook you up with my people.
But one of the guys that we had our little DJing crew with, you know, they started soliciting us for parties, and their older brother-in-laws had a group called the Axe Band, which was kind of hot in the '80s. And they played behind Alicia Myers and a few other people.
Nice.
And they had places they used to perform their stuff over in LaSalle, around the corner from Aretha Franklin's house, down the street from Kwame and them, on LaSalle Gardens. And it was called the Stockade. It was a backyard, and they turned it into a stage and a big platform. And the yard was big. It was about 40 yards.
Just Aretha Franklin's?
Around the corner from Aretha Franklin. It was on LaSalle Garden South.
Yeah, just so you guys know, like the North End, you can almost say the North End, Boston Edison area is the birthplace of Motown.
Oh, boy.
Because that's where Berry Gordy, all his houses, mansions, everybody grew up over
Dramatics.
there. Everybody, even Sam Cooke, you know, my father grew up in Westminster, and he was cool with all them cats. You know, he grew up with, you know, Smokey and,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I just say all those guys because I just remember the funny thing that I remember growing up over there was a lot of people was playing the Motown stuff, so I knew Motown coming up, but I didn't know Motown was in my own neighborhood. I just literally, because, you know, by the time a lot of them moved to California, so I just kind of assumed it was like big over, you know, California, but then all of a sudden, I find out that they right down the street.
Gordy Mansion was right there on Hamilton
Yeah.
in Boston.
You
Right?
know,
that was our stomping grounds.
all the crazy
Me and Marv's
stories,
childhood stomping grounds. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where you.
Where was you at over there, Marvin?
Longfellow and the Lodge Service Drive, right between.
Man, we was on the same street.
Third and Hamilton, yeah.
Yeah, Hamilton.
Oh, yeah, Longfellow turns into Westminster.
Right,
Yeah.
We
right.
moved from Westminster
Yep,
to
I'm
Longfellow.
like the fourth house. I mean, well, you know, the apartment building is the fourth building off of Woodward.
Oh yeah.
How far was you? Were you close to the lodge?
I'm right at the Lodge, Third and the Lodge.
Yeah, between
Wow.
Third and Hamilton.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I know they got some nice houses over there. Okay, did you have some parties at your house?
Yeah, I had a few.
Was it the get-togethers?
Yep.
What was it like? Was it really good? Like, you know, got any memories? Like the first one?
Yeah, I have to think about it, but we had some parties.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some parties.
Yeah, was anything that happened that stick out at the parties that you remember?
Well, not that I remember. We'd be so blowed. I really, I really,
Yes, it
I
was.
really, yeah, I really.
You know, before it was legal, we brought that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weed, the germs.
The
What was that beer?
Jakartas.
What was that beer?
Yeah.
Jakartas.
Yeah.
51s.
Yeah. Oh, 51s.
Not that I know about it, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like 51s was before they called it crack. Okay. So at first it was a fashion drug, and then it was a drug. We didn't know the difference because we was too young. But just so you know, yeah, it was that crack. Ooh, yeah. And then what was that beer? Let me see.
Mickey?
What's a big?
Yeah,
Mickey
Mickey's was one.
Mickey Big Mouth.
This is my looking boy.
And
Yeah.
then
Colt 45.
The 4-5.
What was the
The
preppy?
Old
The
English.
preppy one, the green one. That was the private stock.
Oh, private stock.
stock.
Yeah.
The private stock.
Preppy beer.
Matter of fact, Matt, nah.
Preppy
It was
like,
private stock. It was Wild Average Rose. It was Thunderbird. It was Mad Dog 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd have all that.
Kanai wine. It was Kanai wine. All that stuff. Yeah.
So as you can tell, we had a lot of alcoholics that came out of our generation.
Yeah.
It was some people we just, you know, shout out to them. They didn't make it. They didn't make it past that liquor period.
And some of them handled it with care, and they made it, and they're still here. And
I kept thinking about it. If I get too messed up and come home, moms catch me, I'm in trouble. So I would get blew out early. And that way, towards the
that
end
would
of the
be
night,
me.
I was sober up. So when I
we
came
used to
home,
spend the night out. I couldn't come through the door blow. There was gonna be some blowing.
I remember a couple times we snuck out, me and my brother, and we came home, and mom's was there was like, when you open up the door, there was a chair that was 5 feet from the door.
Wow.
We was sneaking out the window and then called ourselves sneaking in the door. It was like 3 a.m. Mom was right there, sitting there looking at us, just waiting.
Yeah.
She had a belt in her hand. You know how that went.
Oh, you got lucky. We had to
That's
go get a
that
switch.
fight when they say, you know, like, you shouldn't beat your kids. We got to beat them.
Hey, look,
Teachers beat us.
go pick your own switch.
Go pitch your
No, not that switch. Grab that.
Yeah,
Grab that one
and it
over
better
there.
not break.
If you
know
come
what I'm
back in
saying?
with something little, if I have to go get it myself, I'm getting two and twist them together.
Man, I remember putting on underwear over my pajamas because I was about to get a whooping.
Yeah, that didn't work. That didn't work.
And thought I was going to get away with it.
Hey, look, and you know what make it so bad was after you got your butt whipped, they made you go outside to play. Your friends,
Hey, get
your
back
friends,
outside.
your friends know you got it. Your
Why you
friends
got
know
the
you
webs
got
on your arms?
Yeah, the whip.
Yeah.
Webs on your arms.
You look at your legs, y'all got a little small ones.
Yep.
Hey,
Yep.
and you couldn't talk
told
because
you
you're
was
still
getting trouble
sniffling.
for it.
And you're still sniffling 2 hours later.
Yep. Your friends was laughing at you too, man. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Man, I remember one time my mother gave me a whooping on her way to work just because she knew I was going to get in trouble later on. I was at that peak.
That was the
I was at
in-case
that
whooping.
peak.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's called
exactly.
in-case. That was the
I remember
in-case
she came to the
whooping.
door and she looked at me, she's like, you know what? Come here.
Yeah.
You know, I know you're going to do something, so I'm just going to do it right now. Give me that. Just whop. Now, you bet not. But anyway, just in case. And you should whoop my butt. And I was like, all right, that was my pass to go ahead and get. Yeah, I was like, my ass hurt now. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm getting real nasty. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to write on the wall somewhere.
One of our most memorable parties that stuck out at the Stockade. That was, like I said, high school,
Stockade.
10th grade. We gave a party, and it had to be about 150 people in the backyard because we used to solicit all the high schools.
Yeah.
We go down to Wayne State. They're thinking they're coming to this big event. They come in here and it's like, this is a bunch of
Bunch of
high school
schoolers.
kids.
Wow.
But they would stay because
Yeah,
the music
the
was
energy
great.
was good,
We had
yeah.
our little bullfrogs and our big old amp and our mismatched
Bullfrog
speakers and our
speakers.
Teledyne mixer.
Yeah.
But
It's over.
it started raining one night and it was like starting to drizzle and like everybody said, okay, it's gonna blow over, it's gonna blow over. And everybody was dancing so tough. They were still dancing in the rain and it started to pour. So they said, keep going, because it's like 80-degree night, so nobody wanted to get out. It was just banging. They went in the house and got some big garbage bags and covered the speakers, and we danced in the rain till the rain went away. So we danced about a good hour in the rain. That was epic. Nobody wanted to leave. Nobody worried about sweating their hair out. Nobody worried about the speakers shorting out. And we, back in the day, the challenge was, if you go to a club and somebody's beating and they spinning, you know, you could walk up, you know, it wasn't no Shazam back then. You look over the crates, over the table a little bit and try to catch the record when it slowed down and read it.
When you're looking over the shoulders, like spot, train spot.
And, you know, back then too, you can also ask somebody. You know, be, hey man, what? You know, they tell you to cut.
Yeah.
You know,
if I didn't want you to hear it, if I didn't want you to know, I just black.
Oh, they used to, black it out.
Clear it
yeah.
out. You know, I got the magic.
Or scrape it off with a razor blade, or either cover it and tape paper
You
over.
are not going to know what this is. I don't care. I don't even know what it is no more, but it's bad, ain't it?
Yeah, I think we had a night like that at the congregation when the night you played, Mike, right?
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
What happened?
What happened?
It rained. It poured.
Oh yeah, man. And nobody left. Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody left. Yeah.
Yeah, the rain went on.
That's a
Girl
blessing.
Carmen played.
Yeah, but no, that's the magic, man, of Detroit DJ, because I remember Al Lester, speakers went out, wasn't up but bass.
That's right.
Didn't nobody
That was the
blink.
last night. Yeah, that was the last
Yep.
night. Yeah.
Didn't nobody blink. They were still right there. You would have known
And I was
hot.
mad as shit. Yeah.
I was like, but look, man, they don't give a fuck.
They were happy.
Look at
Yeah.
it. They did.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, don't get mad. Look at this. They don't care. It brings a little extra energy because now you got to actually go there.
Right.
Yeah.
And you see Al didn't blink. He blended it. He blended it.
He was still Yeah.
Hey, whenever if Al is playing and you're in doubt, just move with him and you're good.
Hey! I was like, look at this.
Just follow the bobbing head, you'll be on beat.
Into it like this. To me, that was amazing because I let you know what we made of.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know, exactly. Yeah, I'll say, well, we got, we did like I say, we didn't blink. We kept it moving.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Keep it going, Al.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of congregation, how did it start? What was the concept, and all that? Tell
Well,
the
believe it
story.
or not, you have a small impact on the original concept of where we was going with the congregation.
Yeah, you were slated. Remember, you were slated to play the first party before we ended up at the congregation.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Go ahead, Mark.
I did not know that. I had no idea about that. Wow. Okay.
Well, fast forward me having kids in the early 90s and getting off the DJ scene because I fell in love and did what a lot of us do. We migrate into a different...
Married and had babies.
Yeah. I started another job and they talked me into being a Facebook person, and Marv noticed me on Facebook and reached out and like, John, what's going on? I like, can't be. And we'll tell you our backstory later on, but Marv reached out to me like, man, you still spin? I said, no, man, I don't mess around no more. He's like, man, I'm back into it. Make sure you get in the music, man. I'm loving it, this, that, and the third. He said, man, I'll pick you up one day and we'll go by and swing by my boy Tony's house, And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a plan, man. I haven't really messed around. I'm scared. I'm novice. I haven't did nothing in 20 plus years, And Marv came and swung and got me, and he said, let's ride by Tony. He gave me a bunch of music on flash drive to listen to. I'm listening to it on a laptop. And we go out to Tony Dennis' house, and they cut me loose on the table. So I'm sitting back, Tony in his corner, him and Marv.
That was at the old house, man, out in Westland.
Yeah.
Damn, that's like...
But that was
in
the first...
Westland no more?
No, I'm in Belleville. That was 10 years ago, man.
It wasn't that long.
I wasn't driving. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I was in the back seat. I slept,
Yeah,
or I was
yeah.
working on the track. I don't know, something.
You was at my new house. How you got that know, right?
I was riding with them. I was riding with Danielle and Brandon. But was I in the backseat making the tracks?
You were in the backseat.
Yeah.
And when Mike's in the backseat, he's got blinders on.
Yeah. I'm either working because they got the MPC live. So if they got that, I'm like a little kid in the candy store working on some tracks. Yeah, straight up street beats. I made several. So all I know is they're like, Mike, we're here.
In the street.
Okay.
Make a street.
Westland, he was in Chicago. He was
Yep. Chicago. I made about 3 tracks on.
Yeah, so that was at the original Man Cave over in Westland. Yeah,
But I went in there and I
almost 10
lit up
years
like
ago.
a candy store, man. I seen Tony's system and I was like, man, heaven must be like this. Seriously, I hadn't
This
touched,
is heaven.
Yeah, I haven't touched turntables in like years, and to see them, and I'm like, they're turning me loose on some turntables.
And they was floating.
And I
They
got
was floating.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah, you had to spring.
They were sitting on rubber
They gave
bands.
me the ones and twos or how to
Yeah.
work.
My turntable was sitting on rubber bands, man.
Big club style.
Yeah. It was
Rubber
New York-
bands
it was
and rotary
It was
knobs.
It was a New York style console. Yep.
Straight up
Needless to
club.
say, that got me back into the swing of things, and I was feeling myself. And Marv said, we need to start playing, man, get back into it. And he said, we need to find a residency so we can kick it around. I'm producing music now, and shout out to Marv on his producing. And he said, let's get a
Still
residency.
waiting on the
so we
T-shirt. Still waiting on the T-shirt. Still waiting on the T-shirt.
We're all friends, brother.
And he said, we need to get somewhere we can mess around with our music and start trying to, build a following. And we solicited this coffee shop. We had seen a friend of ours do a set with a band over there, and they were live streaming from there, and they was with California, whatever. They had like 2,500 people following them online. And I said, well, I know a good little coffee shop that they had did a live stream from. And I said, it's a good little spot to set up and do a weekend set there and start trying to get people into music. Because what I've always felt with house music is we have a kind of a gatekeeper attitude about a lot of us. It's not all of us, but those who know. We are so close-knit with it that, we all have our backstory to go along with it. But if you didn't come from that era, it's kind of like seclusive, not inclusive. It's not like an open door policy like techno. Techno is like come as you are, granny, no gender, no religion, no, it's an open door policy. But house has its own little pull to it where we kind of segregate ourselves from everybody else because we know that the backstory came with crate carrying and learning the art of the drums and the beats and the clicks that you were with, spending hours practicing 2 o'clock in the morning before you go to school, when you come home, you know. So it was different. If you didn't come up from that clique, it was like, I can't just welcome you up with open arms.
You don't have that experience, their background.
So we had to find a theme, like how can we reach the people who are trying to get there to where we are, so they can understand the music like we do and appreciate it the same without them feeling ousted out. And Mara said, what about a Bridging the Gap series? That'll be our thing. We'll rock with that. We said, Bridging the Gap. So it's a chance to let the young people that's coming up, And he said, let me reach out to some people. And Mike Clark was one of the original people. We got the flyer still. Mike Clark was the original.
What year was that?
Do you remember? It was the year before.
18, maybe. 18, 19, 20.
It was the year before the congregation started. So that was.
But it was Cleese Coffee House. What's the name of the coffee?
2019.
What's the name of the coffee house over there?
Dexter Grimes.
Dexter
that's
Grimes.
the one off of Livernois, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's off of Dexter.
Dexter Grimes.
It's on Dexter.
Man, you told me about this. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And we was gonna launch there, but ironically, we were starting to launch there and setting up we went and had our meeting and everything was good. We got the flyer together and
remember we had paired you with new guy, young guy.
1-5?
Nah.
Okay, never mind. He's from that area. That's fine.
We'll find the flyer.
Who's the other person? I need to let it click.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I can't remember his name.
What do you look like?
It's a young cat.
Short, tall.
Medium height.
Okay.
God, I wish I could.
Is he still around, or you ain't seen him?
I haven't seen him lately.
Okay.
I haven't seen or heard from him lately because he was producing as well.
Oh wow, he got records out.
Yeah, he's got some records out.
Okay, another local. They got records out.
But ironically, in the midst of us getting things on deck, we seen online where the congregation, at the time we was riding past and say, oh man, they restoring that church up here. It's gonna really be nice. And Fox 2 launched an interview with them explaining what it was. And they were turning this old dilapidated church into a coffee house. And we was like, wow, okay, that's a little bigger than the one we're trying to launch. So maybe we can do Saturdays at Dexter Grimes and then pick a day through the week and try to see if they'll accept us to do the same thing at the congregation. So we reached out to them as well, and they bid. So in the midst of saying everything was going smoothly, this was like maybe in February, March, we had them locked and loaded. COVID hit. Everything went cold turkey. Like, no, man.
What COVID
Everything went cold turkey. He said, he couldn't afford to stay open and gamble. They made every business shut down.
Yeah.
And so it foiled our plans. And with COVID, we said, okay, this is what we can try to do. We reached out to Betsy. Of course, shouts out to Betsy.
Shout out to Betsy.
And Amy, we're not going to leave nobody hanging. But asked if we could live stream from there because we know that COVID closed your place, but the allure was so nice on the inside, we'd like to give it a shot and do a live stream from there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And we said we'll mask up, we'll only just bring a few people, simple load. And
it was on the inside.
It
was on the inside. Yeah.
And it went off really well. She said, okay, you guys can go for it. And we might have touched 1,000 people. out the gate. That was kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
Oh, it was 1,000 right out the gate?
Out the gate. Yeah. Right out the gate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't undersell that.
Cheers. Yeah, y'all get a check for that? I mean, I'm like, y'all should have got a paycheck, royalties in that one.
Yeah.
But COVID still kept it under wraps. So we double back and said, okay, we'll do that in a few weeks. And they lifted the ban and started letting people buy, but they couldn't stay in to eat. Is that how it was going?
It was. They could have a limited number of people. First, it was, capacity rated. Maybe 25% of their capacity could patronize.
Yeah.
On the inside, yep.
Right on the inside.
Right.
So,
so she wanted to keep the music going, and not to cut you off, John.
Yeah. Please.
And she asked us about, hey, how about setting up outside? And we said, okay, we can play outside, and that's how we ended up outside.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that is the story. Simple history, gotta love it.
Yeah, simple history.
She was saying that the patrons were having a hard time hearing their orders, and
That was the best you could have done.
oh, definitely.
I think I remember that. Did I play on the inside?
Right.
Yeah, everybody came up there.
Yeah, I played it.
Tony
I
was
remember
there,
on the
Al
inside,
showed up. Dysart was there. Daryl Dyer.
Terry Dyer.
G. Mitchell was on original launch. We had a good
All
turnout.
Detroiters went through.
Yeah, and it was going really smooth. And the outside thing kind of gave people a chance to come in and sit around and dine and kick it outside. And and we didn't have no idea how the impact was going to turn out, but it was a good getaway from the normalcy. We picked a nice Thursday where there was nothing at the time that was really promising. We tried to not offset anybody's weekend. The food was good. Everything was. It was a good match.
Drinks off the chain.
Yeah.
It was the middle, like in Harlow North End.
Yeah, except for the Wi-Fi outside sucked. So
Yeah.
This is true.
For streaming, it was.
I trashed the Wi-Fi. I said, forget it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was kid friendly, And the thing about it is, it couldn't have been a better platform for us to do what we were initially setting out to do, was to invite new people into the genre without making nobody feel ousted or isolated. People are coming with dogs, because it really is come as you are. It's
Mini Woodstock.
kid-friendly.
The mini Woodstock.
The students are from Wayne State study there, so they would study, and then when they put their books down, they'd go put them in their cars and come out there and party with us. And they have a food truck there. They had a food caterer at the time when they launched. They had a pizza company that would come up, and with Marv working every other Thursday, we weren't able to really keep the load going to capacity, because I was still novice, getting back on the scene. So I was a little scared to get my feet wet, must confess. And he cutting to Tony about it. And Tony, he said he was hastily, kind of standoffish about it, but
But I was all about support and helping him out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the launch of let's get it right, because it sounds so good coming up to Another Way to Pray.
Yeah, Another Way to Pray. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And what a lot of people thought was a church, and they thought it was church related, which is not a bad thing.
Was they expect you guys to play like Gospel House all through?
Oh yeah, they really did. A lot of people, they didn't.
You got Reverend James Cleveland House?
Okay.
Yeah, let me get some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, people coming up there to Sunny's Best. No, just joking. But
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Not the patrons.
Okay,
People. A lot of people. The first thing you say to the congregation, they be like, okay, don't even try it. I'm not about to take one of those pamphlets.
Yeah.
And I immediately was thinking like New York congregation, that club thing. So it went straight
But
there.
once you tell people, they got drinks there, drinks. That's the icebreaker.
What y'all got? Wine? It's red wine, right?
And the theme song. And the theme song.
What y'all got? Bread
was
and wine,
Shauna
right?
Stoffery, Music in My Life. All right, he was saying Another Way to Pray.
Another Way to Pray.
Yeah.
But it's the whole aspect of the music itself is house is something that people gravitate toward to, different than rock and roll, because you're not about to soothe yourself on rock and roll. Some R&B will get to you, but if it's not super sultry and have you in a lustrous mood or
He did say lustrous. Y'all heard that. He said lustrous.
You like that? That's
I like that. It's lustrous. You know, that's like a commercial. You can't see me, but if I say lustrous, you can feel it.
But it's something that vibes and it puts you in a different place in your mind. You know, the beats and I mean, once it started, you know, it was a little aggressive. You know, the jacking style of house and stuff was kind of like hard hitting and repetitive and stuff, but when you started coming with the vocals and
describe Jackin' House for the audience.
Jackin' House was a redundant, hard bass line with cymbals and a snare.
It's not the jacket. It's not the jacket we grew up with. It's not that jacket shit we grew up with from the 80s.
We're gonna keep this a little R.
Yeah. Well, you know jacking.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
Not jacking in the house, jacking house.
Because one thing, like a lot of people don't know, like in the history, jacking was one of the terms, like house music, but jacking was a term.
Who was Jack?
Dancing.
Time to jack.
So yeah, exactly.
Jack your body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So jacking was a term for the dance that they did in Chicago. So you know, it landed and it did good out here for a while, but because jacking wasn't a dance everywhere else, it didn't last as long as the term house, because house was the actual track. So therefore, house did this.
Yeah.
Hydrogen bomb.
They thought it was gonna be short term like rap music, and that's
we all did though. I mean, honestly, we all did.
Yeah,
but
we thought it was.
I got a chance to see so many countries and cities. That's one thing I was blessed. I got a chance to pioneer a lot of different places and introduce it, you know, in the early days. And it was just like clockwork. It's like when you play it, people got this interesting look, but they feel good about it because it's, you know, house music. You know, the music is for the soul. You know, the original. How we play it.
So remember when I said in 1989 when I was over in Benidorm, Spain? Mm-hmm. I had no idea that house, Farley, that style genre had reached overseas like that. They had crates of that stuff over there.
Yeah, like you said, it took off, and the irony is it came right after the death of disco, if you remember.
Well, Death of Disco was 1979.
Yeah,
And then the progressive era.
Then the progressive era.
And the Italian disco era. came.
Italo, yeah.
And then we followed after Italian disco, because it was drum machine era.
Yeah.
First you had that. Let me see, disco. Now correct me if I'm wrong. Now was it progressive new wave or was it new wave?
New wave progressive.
New wave.
Right around the same time.
Right around the same
Because
time.
new wave kind of took a turn toward
The wild
techno.
the wild side, yeah.
New wave kind of took to a techno turn. And progressive took the house turn.
When techno really came out, was Alice of Your Mind, Cosmic Car.
That was like
Juan
82.
Atkins,
That was 82,
Cybertron.
Right.
That's really the birth
Yeah.
of techno.
My Cosmic Car.
People wanted to
Alice
try
of
to
Your
get-
Mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
people tried to want to.
You know what's funny? I remember
work and-
I bought 2 Cybertron rigs. Remember the little red 12-inch that he
Yep,
had?
yep.
I mean, the 7-inch?
Yep.
Man, you know Juan's my bro, right? He ain't even had a record. So I was like, look, Juan, I got your first record. Hey, man, I ain't even got one. Oh, man. Here. Wow. I hope you still got it, Juan. I'm just saying. Man, you know, don't let me give it in vain, because I was going to keep that record.
So, in terms of the congregation, you know, how everything got, how it morphed. Man, the first year, really, let's be clear. It was at the congregation. But Marvin, you got to speak on your label because it was about interfrequency recording.
Marvin will speak soon. Y'all get ready.
Yeah. So you need to speak on interfrequency recording, which I still ain't got my T-shirt yet. All right.
The voice of Marv.
Yeah. But that's really what the congregation. It was interfrequency recordings and at the congregation.
Okay. So basically, what you're saying is, the concept derived from a record release of his record.
Absolutely.
And from that point on, it just continued and molded into what it became.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Nice. Marvin?
Well, I think you guys pretty much wrapped it up. Good job. Yeah, good job.
Oh, no, you ain't escaping. We want to talk about the music. You already know.
Not that easy, bro.
Good job. So I'll try to go over some of.
I have a couple questions. I got a couple questions. All right, so Marvin.
Sure. Yeah.
As you know, being a DJ that you are, you got history.
Little, yes.
Yeah. How'd you start?
So I started over at John's house.
John who?
This John, David Spears.
Okay.
Yeah, John David.
In-house.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna take this mic.
Yeah, you go to the front.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No,
I'm in the
out.
front. I'm in the front. All right.
Yeah, just it's fine.
Yeah.
Testing 1, 2.
Front. No, that's the time.
Testing 1, 2. Oh yeah, this is much better.
Okay.
Yeah, this is much better for me. It wasn't the mic; it's my operator error.
Dynamic version.
So I started spinning over at John's house. I was in the 8th grade. Was coming back from
8th grade. Y'all got that?
A summer.
8th grade.
A summer in New York with my parents. Was going across the Brooklyn Bridge. I've always been a lover of music, you know, being from here, and then I have an older brother who had every record imaginable growing up.
It's in our genes.
And I heard Madonna's Holiday mixed with Herbie Hancock's Rocket.
Oh, wow.
And when I heard that mix, that was it. It was over. And that was in the summer.
Defining moment.
So I went on to high school that following fall. And I have a good buddy named Dave Spivey.
Shout out to brother Spivey. Yep. Shout out this brother. He's making records now. He got like a serious crowd that follows him. Definitely shout outs. I watched him, you know, go from
Comrades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's paying off. So shout out to Dave Spivey. Cheers, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Rock, Florida.
David's influence, coupled with our affinity to skip school, and it would land us over John's house. John was an upperclassman. He might have been a senior year when we were in 9th grade. Were you a senior? Yeah.
My father passed my boss from 1200s in 82.
That's right. So we would go over John's and just spend countless hours playing records. He was the only person that I knew at that time that had 2 turntables and a mixer. Yeah, that's right. And we just spend hours on end, days on end. You know, I had a tennis racket I used to carry around everywhere that my parents got me for my supposed tennis club practice. So needless to say, I was at John's house. Then that winter, David Spivey got his first, I don't know who he talked into it, but he talked somebody into it, his parents probably, got him his first 2 turntables and mixer. And then it was pretty much just on from there, you know. So I still had an affinity for doing it, but I kind of took a backseat to spinning to start promoting. We like a lot of teenagers of our time, you know, we looked up to the older kids, and they had these incredible parties, and we got it in our mind that we want to form a social club as well. Hence was the birth of Comrades with David, and Mike Avery, and a couple of other Charles Turner, Max Mixon, a couple of other
Surrender
Descupta, a couple of our other Benedictine brothers, and we did that, and we started throwing parties. We ended up coming up under a group called Brats here in the city. They had an incredible
social group in high school.
Yeah, had an incredible DJ by the name of Ron Scott, and spent countless hours on end at Ron's house. He lived in the neighborhood too. Ron lived on Calvert.
Okay.
Yeah, Ron lived on Calvert.
Boston, Edison, North End.
Yep. So, we spent countless hours at Ron's. Dave would always be there to practice for the parties. And I just always, loved to play. So I would play, when they were done seriously practicing. Then came a time we could be playing anywhere, man. I remember going over to Ray Berry's to play. I think Ray was doing a party with us, and he talked about the 1200s and Ray having the 12s.
R.I.P. Ray.
And I think we wanted to get some practice in on those 12s, so we went over to Ray's to play, and had just fond memories. So after that, an incredible time as a teenager, where most people you tell who lived outside of the city can't believe the kind of childhood we had growing up. You
were actually spoiled. I mean, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, spoiled rotten.
There's a few things that we had, and there's, some things that I noticed that we had that most people don't think about. Like, for instance, we were the generation that grew up with the Motown kids.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
We were the actual kids that spawned the techno house era, because we're the ones that, our influence from the Italian disco era when they first started using drum machines with that. And we would come in as early house, and it was all about your 909.
Yeah. We grew up with
the drum machine era just spawned.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like you say, coming up behind the Motown era, we went to school with Frida Payne's kids and Robert Gordy,
David Ruffin's.
David Ruffin. Me and David Ruffin went to school together.
So we had that certain thing that was just a part of it,
Franklin's.
Yeah. So
They lived down the street for a reason.
the Garrett,
right.
Franklin.
Yeah. So music was always a part of all our lives growing up. So, I'll fast forward, got out of high school, went to the military, went to the Navy for a few years.
For your services, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Yes. Salute.
Came back, jumped into college for a while, got married, started having kids. Well, I had a kid.
That you know
You
of?
said 8 or A?
That you know of?
Yeah.
That you know. You said kids. So
Yeah, that's right.
You
That's
told on yourself. bro.
I was like, you mean 8 kids?
Yeah, I had a
You got a
kid.
family.
Started a family, which is ironic with your boy, with Scott's half sister. That's how Scott and I we call each other brother-in-law.
Scott who?
Yeah, Rucker, Skyland Rucker.
Oh, snap. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I married Scotland Rucker's.
Hey, Scott, you didn't tell me your Marvin was family.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yep. So,
we got to talk to you about this project. We got a video game that me and Scott doing.
Yeah. Remember, I did the tracks. I already sent him the tracks.
That's right. Don't mind me. I'm old.
Yeah. I sent him the
My
tracks.
memory's gone. Anything past 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So, but it kind of, enjoyed some of the parties along the way. The Music Institute, 246, a lot of those things. And then for probably 5 years or so, just was kind of out of the scene. It was a scene that actually kind of died down here in the city until Mike Clark, Norm, Tally and Delano Smith had started doing their thing with Beat Down Sounds and the Sunday Nights at Agave. Around the same time, Ray Bone and I hooked up, started doing some online streaming of some of his music and mixes, and we established a thing called forwardmusic.org. So we did that for a while. Then around that time, that's when I started taking DJing a little more serious and, you know, trying to develop my skills up under Ray at Ray's house. And started playing. So, you know, I played around at a few different clubs. It was the blessing was already having a connection with all these guys that were already basically turning into legends on the scene. So it was easy for me to have an outlet to go play, you know, stuff like that. Then, fast forward another decade or so, I turned 50, was single, and yeah.
He had a full life, y'all.
This was the second full life. This was the second time.
Divorce,
single.
no kids. We good.
Yeah, so that's right.
The Marvin Prather book.
And I started making records.
What made you want to make records?
Yeah, so it really became just a solitude for me, Mike.
Like a security blanket, like make
like a security blanket. Exactly.
It has that effect. I get it.
Yes. Hooked up with Mike Grant. Released
Moods and Grooves.
Released my second song, Moods and Grooves. And then fast forward to now, you know, a few records later, a few different labels, knocked to recording out of the UK. Yeah, I got quite a few. I got a few.
Okay,
Hear me now. Hear me now. Hear me now.
Tell me this, because this is what I remember when you was working on your first record. What was that like as far as like what made you, what was your head as far as like when you were making it and to send it out, you know, because, you know, when you make that first record, you know, that's your nervous point because like you sending it out.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a funny story because
I remember that.
For me, my first record, we got to talk about the record before my first record.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, my pre-first record. I was working on some music and I had connected with Steve Crawford.
Shout out to Steve Crawford, my little bro.
This is before
also out of Detroit.
Before Interfix?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I was just turning 50 then. I was 50.
Never too old.
And I produced a track. I sent it to him, and he said, "Man, that's not a track." He said, "You know, you're missing these elements. You know, this, that, and this and the other." And I took it with good constructive criticism only because I was determined.
Yeah, that's important.
So next track I came back with, he was like, "Man, can I release that?" You know.
Nice.
So that was my first release, actually, on Steve's label, on Beatty Boy.
Shout out.
Then the next track was released on Moods and Grooves.
Gotcha.
And then that was it. So I had, you know, worked under Mike for a while and had decided I did want to try to run a label myself.
What made you want to run a label?
Because I wanted to put out a certain sort of music.
Okay, you want to make like a statement?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I knew that I wanted my music represented in a certain light, and similar sounds, or sounds that sounded good to me. I wanted to capture that.
You saw your vision, and you wanted to make sure that vision was
yeah, absolutely.
No one's gonna stop you because this is my vision, my label. Fuck you.
Yeah, correct. So I started in the Frequency Recordings.
Right.
And then that's when John and I started discussing finding a place that we could call a home to build up a following for the label and bridge the gap with some of the younger kids out here who were up and coming DJs. And
shout out to the new DJs. At one point, I remember I was feeling uncomfortable because I didn't know what would happen. Because let's just be honest, our generation, they weren't as forthgoing in promoting and passing it down.
They didn't have the same avenues.
Yeah.
Internet and social media gave you a platform that's unreal.
Yeah, so we basically, that's why it's like I saw the younger generation kind of built their own scene, and they're thriving. I mean, Kyle Hall and Jay, and it's so many of them. It's so many, man. It's so many of them. So I'm just gonna be like, shout out to the new generation. Thank you all for taking the path that was given to you and representing it fully. John Dixon and all these guys, man. When I hear them, it excites me because at first, I'm in the house. I'm always working on my own music, so I'm kind of in a cave in a sense. I don't really go out. I just come here and do my thing and then go back home. So it's a lot of stuff that I don't be knowing about. You know what I mean? So I find out every now and then when I just talk to some people. So that's when I found out the whole new scene, Dion, all these new guys and girls, and it's so cool to see that, Detroit has grown and prospered. And, I just want to I would love to really see what it's doing at some point. Yeah. Start getting back out.
Yeah. And thank you too, Mike, for my musical development. You've always, slid, I'll call it slid tracks to me of a lot of your original works, and very inspiring.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's one thing I learned, because I used to go to New York and Chicago, and this is the early days, like pre-production, like just DJing. The one thing that I saw that was going on over there that, we had it here, but we didn't. Detroit is a very close-knit family type place, but we also have a strong, challenging spirit. So sometimes we don't really come together when we can to be stronger. Sometimes we'll work together to go neck and neck, but then once somebody gets bigger than the other one, animosity kicks in. I don't know. That's just what I see. But, and correct me wrong, the rest of the world, when I see what the rest of the world, like, New York and Chicago and these other places, that's not the objective. Their objective is to be as big as they can, clock their money, handle their business, and then, hey, once they kind of are comfortable, if you feel like stepping out and saying, fuck you, then you do. Meanwhile, you hang in there until you reach your goals because, no doubt, no matter how you feel about each other, the common goal is the success. And when your brain goes past your personal to make sure your goal is met, period, that's how you do it. And that was what I saw. And when I came home, that was what I tried to bring home, that attitude of it's all about being up here, y'all. You are kings, you are queens, you got the greatness of everybody who you look up to. Trust me, I've seen them, I met them, I hung out with them. They ain't no different than you and I. All you gotta do is just go out here and just represent you and believe in you and let it be known and let that go out there. And boom, that's who you are. We see it all the time.
So one of the things, what I really like about the congregation and what's really so important is that it's the only place where there's literally zero drama. Zero drama. I mean, everybody.
The last day.
Well,
Those last days are always crazy.
yeah.
Ooh, that last day.
Yeah, but
as big as it was not even elbow room. It was shoulder to shoulder.
More drama, probably internal to us because of some technical stuff that happened, and we were completely overwhelmed that last night. That's drama in itself.
Yeah,
but when I say drama, nobody can say anything negative about that. All right?
Yeah, the place, just so you guys know, for those who doesn't know about the congregation is usually held in the summertime.
3 months out of the year.
Yep.
June to August. Yep.
June through August, yep. At like 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
Yep.
6 to 9. And it's like in a park area. It's like directly across the street from an actual park, but it's like this open space. And, it's one of those spots that, every now and then you have the right place at the right time. And it's a feel-good spot. I learned about it, like I said, through these guys and, played with them. And like the last one that I did over at the congregation, I remember I got a chance to actually see and feel the audience because, as seasoned DJs, we feel the audience, the crowd, and the energy. And the energy that was coming from there, that was the first time I felt something since Agave.
So the first and second year, remember those college students that come from the University of Michigan?
Oh yeah, our dance.
There was a group. And we did not know they were doctors. To the end, they would say, "Hey, this is our last year. We get ready to go out to our forward." They was with us faithfully. Yep.
It's actually what a podiatrist says.
I just wanted to say that I feel like you guys are selling it, but you're not selling it enough because of all the parties, of all the events. We've been down here. We grew up in the suburbs. I'm 32. I didn't grow up with you guys, obviously. And we know Detroit. We love Detroit. And that party, that event, is the most Detroit thing that is happening in Detroit. And it has for years now. This is the most... Everybody's there. Everybody's cohesive. Everybody's there to enjoy themselves. There's no drama.
These are truly legendary parties.
I got to tell you,
it's the epitome of Detroit.
Really, I'm gonna tell you my really highlight of that party. We really never captured him on film. It was this young handicapped guy, the ones that always. He comes in. He's so full of life. And I'm getting to get teary-eyed about it.
You guys bring that up?
I guess. I see him.
But this kid, young guy, he's handicapped, but he is all about life, and he's just out there dancing and having an awesome time. If he come out again, we got to get him on film. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be there, but
you guys should
documentize
his documentary.
If nothing else,
We'll come bring you up with cameras.
If nothing else, playing for him was awesome. And then some of the elderly, the senior citizens that sat up in the where we at. The judge,
everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, audience. Just so you guys know, like I said, they've been downplaying the congregation because the congregation is a place that This is what you really get out of it, because at this point in time, Detroit is starting to become a place where you have all the different people coming in. So you have a lot of different, people coming together, different cultures, different
dogs,
ages.
cats,
just
everybody.
And the crazy part is everybody is in there and everybody's just happy.
Yeah.
So when you go there, you leave happy, is that the right enough time, especially, as a lot of the older audience, people gotta go to bed earlier. It's from 7 to 9. So from 7 to 9, that's enough time to dance, get your groove on. They got some food trucks up in there, you get it on. I'm sorry, 6 to 9. Yeah, sorry.
It was 5 to 9. The first year was 5 to 9. First year was 5 to 9. Yep.
Yeah. Do they have? Is it on a website or anything? All right, cool.
It's on Facebook. It's Facebook.
Yeah, and it's on the congregation's website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look it up. Congregation Detroit or.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Congregation Detroit.
Say one more thing. People will come from out of town. They hear about TV Lounge, they hear about Marble Bar, they hear about all these places that you expect to hear about. But if you want the true Detroit experience, the Congregation
For 3 hours.
For 3 hours.
3 hours.
It's the most Detroit you're gonna see. It's the most Detroit you're gonna feel.
Exactly.
And that's honestly what Detroit's all about. So don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
I will back that up. That's the thing that when I stepped in there, it was what Detroit is all about right now. It's everybody coming together, and it's a group of everyone. And like I said, it's the right group. You know, as we know what house music does. House music is the sun that brings us all together. So with that being said, when you put everybody up under good house music, all up under one tree, like you say, grandmas to babies, dogs to all the.
One year we had a lady who brought her mother there for her birthday, and it was 5 generations. Yeah. 5 generations of women.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, those are the stories.
Also, we had one guy up there trying to pass. It was during an election part of the month.
Oh, I remember him.
And
Yeah, the parades.
This guy was passing stuff out, and I called him and I pulled him aside and said, "Dude, this is not that." I said, "This is where people come to get away from normalcy. We're not here for politics. We're not here for religion. We are here to interact and get away from the scorns of life. You know, we want to enjoy the music, enjoy the atmosphere. This is not that." And he left with his tail tucked, you know. But if you really want to engulf yourself in the pleasures of enjoying the music and enjoying people at its finest, there's no eye looking down. There's no, don't bring your dogs, you know. If you're not pet friendly, go to another side of the grass. You know, it's room for everybody. It's room to be yourself and enjoy yourself to the fullest. You can enjoy the music. It's nobody shooting you down about who's playing what. You know, you can ask. It's an open door policy there.
And you know, in general, because me and Marv was down there, 2 weeks ago? What day was that? What day was that? Friday. It was on a Friday. It wasn't nothing going on there, but it was kind of crowded inside of there. It was people was playing. Yeah. People were playing Connect 4. Yeah. They was playing all these games. You had kids playing with building blocks and everything, and crocheting in there. Yep. They had a guy
with that kind of community.
A guy came in there and started playing his keyboard, some jazz type flavor, and everybody was just having a good time. I was kind of shocked by it, but really, the congregation is always something going on there every day without music. That's the type of place
it's a
that
mecca,
it is.
it's a
Beautiful place. Beautiful place. Beautiful.
Shout out to the Congregational Spot. So shout out to you guys. I want to thank you guys for coming to the show. We're going to be wrapping it up soon. Is it anything you guys, you got any records coming out you want to talk about?
I do have a couple. I don't have a mic anymore.
Microphone.
Yeah.
Check 1 2.
Yeah.
Check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I hear me. So I got a couple of tunes coming out on collaborative effort with Steve Crawford and Reggie Dokes on Beatty Boy, and we may be releasing that under Upstairs Asylum.
On Norm Talley's label.
Norm Talley's label.
Yeah.
Shout out to Norm.
Yeah. Right. So
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Yeah. What about you, Tony? What you got?
Well, I'm just doing my my podcast stuff, and
what's your podcast?
Soulful Guest. Yeah. But if you Google Mr. Tony Dennis, it'll pop up instantly.
MRTD,
Mr. Tony Dennis podcast on the Soulful Guest. I had a conversation with Mike the other day where I was actually talking about breaking down all the software and stuff. Stuff we always talk about, Marv, about me making tracks and stuff like that. So that's one of my projects that I'm going to do before the end of the year. And but right now we're ramping up to have talks with Betsy at the congregation. The congregation is going to start the first week of June. I'm not sure what date that is, but it's the first week. It's the week after movement.
Okay.
Really looking forward to that. We're going to pretty much keep the same format, but depends also what Betsy's got going on, because we were clearly overwhelmed that last night. So
we need to talk about that.
Yeah, so there's going to be some, I'm probably sure there's going to be some changes and stuff like. But overall, the expectation is pretty much going to be the same. Nothing really drastic from our side of the house. Our intent is to continue the vibe and that we are blessed to provide everyone with.
Well, would you say like that last party was probably your wildest party?
So hold on. Because so in hindsight, that last party wasn't supposed to be there. We were asked to extend that. Remember?
Okay.
Yeah, we have to go one more Friday.
Yep.
But yeah, the one before that, where they were.
Yeah, the year before, the last party, the year before, was it the year before or the year before that? Where when the students all went back
the year before.
Yeah, that was probably the wildest.
Yeah.
You know, we looked up, it was a big circle twerk going on. The lawn. It was about 300 people inside the bar. Inside of the congregation, about 300 people.
Nice.
It was. It was nuts.
Yeah. Uncontrollable, man.
Yeah, but that last one, the last year, we extended that one. That party was not supposed to go down. All right.
Would you say that was like your best party?
In hindsight, in hindsight.
Okay.
So, but I'm just gonna be upfront.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally for me, people who showed up at that last event, it wasn't about music at that time. They was just wanting to be part of a crowd, which probably created a party. It looked like the party was off the hook, but it was a lot of people that was there.
They had lawn chairs.
Yeah.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen, man.
Yeah. It was like going to Aretha Franklin sitting on the outside of a boat.
You don't know if he was going to party or go to a concert.
But it was crazy. And I got a picture. I got a picture when I was I went to across the street and I took a picture. It was right when Al was closing down, and the whole stage was just maxed out with people, man. It was crazy. You know, cars was everywhere, man. It was just, But what the beautiful thing, it was no drum, no art. It was just like everybody was in complete harmony, man. Complete harmony.
This is what Detroit is all about, despite what, some people try to stigmatize us as being. But, once you get to know us, and again, the reason why we have this interview, because these are the guys that hold one of the best parties that explains that, and again, if you're not here, when you do come here, especially during those times from June into
August,
make sure you go to one of the congregation parties. You'll never forget it.
Absolutely.
I do want to say, I'm going to backlash off to something that Mike had said about the competition in the city. I think that a lot of people here on the music scene take it as a negative with the animosity and the deception, but I have to take a positive spin on that, and it worked for Motown, and it works for the house industry as well. A lot of people don't think of it as a good, but the good out of what he said is the negative competition makes you a better person. If you know that this person is doing that over there, it makes you want to try harder to be implemented. You don't just bring raw material thinking it's going to be accepted because you know it's going to get shot down. Mm-hmm. We are our worst critics, but from us being critical of each other, it makes a better artist.
Yeah, it's the inner competition.
But you notice one thing, you don't never see them critics at the congregation. No. None of those critics are at the congregation.
Oh, no, you're not, because the places. This is one thing I learned about the difference between certain parties. Certain parties attract certain people. So you have certain parties where there's a certain type of conversation that goes on. There's a certain frame of mind that's there, and they all flock towards each other, and they have that. And you have a whole nother type of situation here, because when I do my Northern Lights, it's the same type of thing.
Yep, absolutely.
And I remember when some of those people came to my party, me, and they actually tried to speak to me about, why isn't it a certain way? And it's like, you wanted me to sound like someone else. I don't sound like that person. I sound like me. So basically, this is me introducing you to how I sound. If you don't like it, I can't help that. But you know where to go where you like what you like. So basically,
Your spirits, piss off their demon.
Exactly. Get away. Go away, demon. Go.
But also people are a product of their environment. So if you never branched out and went anywhere, you're gonna
if it's in you, if it's in you, you're gonna catch it and you're gonna feel it. It's gonna come out. Like I said, I got bit. I DJ'd there that one time, and after that, I was like, I'm coming every time. I don't give a fuck. This is it. You saw me every time. I was like, hey, me and my brother Kalanji.
Yeah, Kalanji. Yeah. And what's her name? What the I can't pronounce her name. The teacher.
Mian.
Yeah, she started showing up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people just started showing up. Being faithful followers to it. So
I know. I was like, I was telling y'all. I was like, y'all, you got to come. Period. It's just like when you have a good party, it's rare. It's like, my friends here. We have these special nights. We call them the Cherry Line nights. And it's like when I first started coming here and I met everybody. And I felt the energy and kind of saw what was going on. I remember that night I told everybody, it's like, you guys got something special here. And whether you know it or not, at the very least, cherish it because nothing lasts forever. And while this is happening, this is going to be a great memory, so make the best of it.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's like, when I saw what was happening here, remember I kept telling you, I was like, you got to do a documentary, man, because this is right here. It's commercial level. It's commercial level love. You know, you have this type of diversity and there's no drama. Everybody's just in bliss. That's the kind of stuff you just got to just kind of brag about, especially in Detroit, especially in the heart of Detroit, Boston, Edison, North End, West Side area, because that's the heart of Detroit. That's like the middle, you know what I'm saying? When people want to say or think about anything about Detroit, you take them there, they go home, brag about what they saw, what they came.
So I do got to give a shout out because you mentioned North End. There's 3 man caves that I know of, all right? It's my man cave, all right? There's this man cave, and then Gerald's, North End Productions.
Oh, yeah, Gerald G. Smooth.
Club
Basement
NEP,
Party.
right? Yeah.
Club NEP.
So
NEP.
You talk about a good experience that's underground where you really want to have a good time. Is these places.
They've been doing it for a while, too.
These places, these people are opening up their doors to us. And giving us the ability to just come and have a good time, all right? And
he does have an open door policy.
And and outside, anybody can go to a club every week, or a bar every week, but it's not as intimate when you go into like somebody's home, a basement party. It's just,
if you've never been to a basement party,
it's true organic.
Ask your parents.
It's organic.
Big real human connection.
Yeah.
So
basement party is intimate. I mean, when you go somewhere at somebody's house, you relax. You feel that much more comfortable, and yeah, exactly. So it's definitely different than going to a club.
I can remember, when I walked down in here New Year's night, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like, I looked and said, I was like, this is a man cave, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at how I thought my vision was with the black ceiling and stuff like that. I'm like, holy shit, this is off the chain down here, right? So yeah. Okay. But your vibe here is nobody captured anything like
Play
this.
some music, man.
All right.
Yeah, that's coming up next.
Yeah.
You brought your records?
Well, I mean, I got a couple.
You got flash drive? All right, cool.
Welcome to our records, our equipment, our
Turntables,
instruments.
CDJs, flash drives, whatever you prefer.
Tony always gets flared up.
There was a jazz.
What Marvin is alluding to is I'm constantly beating him up because I want him to play more. All right.
No.
So
blessed to have these guys.
There you go,
here.
Marv. Get on out there, man.
Now we're about to get a little experience.
Yeah.
thank you all for coming to the show. Thank you for, talking about everything. And, looking forward to seeing
Thanks
you
for
guys
having
at
us.
the parties. And, yeah, for sure. Signing out. Now we're about to show to the second part where we actually display our skills on the board.
It swings all the way around. That thing. Yep, keep going.
Once again, thanks to Mike and company. We'll see you this summer.
Shout out to Deeper Waters. Deeper Waters Studios.
Okay.
DNB.
Interfrequency recording.
We edit all this.
Listen out for more from me, the Eternal Student, and Interfrequency Recordings.
There you go.
I'm Light Skin Dave on John Spears on Facebook, Instagram is LYTSKIN. Don't question it when you see me.